This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 5th day of April in the year 2019. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Leland Saul, today told reporters that he believes that it is a conflict of interest for the husband of the minister responsible for housing to be granted contracts for projects that fall under the agency. It was recently revealed that the husband of Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Valerie Yearwood, was one of several contractors who won bids by the Central Housing and Planning Authority to construct houses back in 2017. The project is still ongoing. Minister Yearwood has said that she played no part in the awarding of any contract, since that is the job of the board of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, which falls under the Housing Department, which she overlooks. The CEO of the Central Housing and Planning Authority agreed that the contracts were handed out by the board through a competitive bidding process, but he pointed out that if the contractor is the spouse of the minister, there is some conflict of interest.
If the contractor in question is the spouse of the minister, certainly it would be a conflict of interest. In relation to our procurement procedure, it was a competitive bidding process. Several contractors were recommended, and the board, CHPA board, would have awarded contracts.
Mr. Saul explained that the minister's husband has not been granted any other contract since the one in 2017, but he noted that the project for that contract is still ongoing. Questioned about the possible granting of future contracts, Saul reminded that it is the board that awards the contracts, and it is the board that should review that situation. Minister Yearwood today dodged questions on the issue, instead pointing all queries to the Central Housing and Planning Authority.
The minister is not engaged in issuance of contracts. The management and the board of directors, anything to that effect, speak to them, please.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority has been trying to reach out more to small contractors in its housing initiative. More news coming up in just a moment.
The future is green. Let's help you experience the future with easy financing for your business or home, be it for solar energy, water treatment recycling, water filters, energy-saving appliances, or wind power projects. Enjoy competitive interest rates, fast approvals, and discounted lending services fees, low equity contribution, and flexible repayment. Visit us for details or go to www.gbtibank.com or email us at banking@gbtibank.com. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Hey, babe. Hello? Is Don me quite just done?
Buddy, you need to switch to GTT Fab 5.
Fab 5?
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only $5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Oh, yeah, I like the switch. Wicked Fab 5.
Welcome back. Let's tell you now that a teenage student of the New Amsterdam Technical Institute who was caught on camera beating away on some classmates has been suspended and ordered to undergo counseling that will be provided by the Education Ministry and the Citizen Security Program. The 3 boys who were on the receiving end of the assault have also been ordered to undergo counseling. The Education Ministry handed down the recommendations and orders following an investigation of the incident that went viral on social media. During the investigation, the boy who did the beating explained to the investigators that he found himself as a victim of regular bullying from the other boys, and that was the reason for him lashing out at them. Education officials have met with both the teacher and student body of the New Amsterdam Technical Institute, and they have reiterated the need for the Technical Institute to be a place for non-violence. The ministry has also recommended that the frequency of assemblies at the institution be increased, and sections of the rules and procedures must be discussed at the assemblies. To further address the issue of bullying on a bigger scale, the Education Ministry has also announced that the Institute will be launching an anti-bullying campaign to ensure that students are sensitized on the negative effects of bullying. The Institute is to be declared a no-bullying institution. Well, almost 20 years ago, several families from the Tiger Bay community were moved to the old housing storage compound in the Tugville community. Some were promised and granted house lots, while others have found themselves still living under less than comfortable situations in small wooden shacks in the compound with their plastic roofs. Today, Minister responsible for Housing Valerie Yearwood and Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources Simona Brooms visited the community to listen to the concern of the residents. Minister Brooms said she was unaware of the compound until last Saturday when she came across it while riding through the community. The housing minister said she had never heard of it. The residents explained that after they were moved from Tiger Bay under the previous government, they were given some building material to build something to live in, while being promised that they would be provided with house lots.
I want betterments. I was here since I was 6 years old. We've been here since 27 years. I really need betterment because when I go for job application and I send in an application at any places, international places, I'm not getting job because the places where I live, and I tell them I live in a sewage place, I can't even tell them I live in a sewage area. I getting torn down.
What we as people are asking for is not much. If you could pass in the last past regime, to come out and move some people from Lemar, give them land for $1. We're not asking them much. All we asking for, even if you have land to give us, just give us the okay so that we can make ourselves comfortable as a family.
In 23 years, people never look back at we for even see if we got a toilet or
Since in Janet time.
right? For all this time, the lights, everything that, you understand, is the pressure we are underneath right now.
Some were given house lots in the Diamond community. Those who failed to pay for those lots within a period of time saw those lots being repossessed, leaving them to continue living in the compound. The compound is located close to the sewage system for the area. While the electricity supply to the area was regularized, the area was never regularized, so it's as if the residents are squatting in a new area. Minister Yearwood told the residents that the housing department will look into their plight. She said she was completely unaware of the compound and the promises that had been made to the residents years ago.
I have to go back and meet with my seniors, discuss this, and we're going to determine the way forward.
Yeah.
Then meet with your group, your 5 committee. We talk this thing through, and then we're going to come back and have a big meeting with everybody.
Okay.
So all of us would be on the same page.
Yeah.
So when we speak the same things, and you help me to help you.
Yes.
I'm saying to you, we are going to commit to changing this situation.
Minister Brooms has also committed to assisting the residents in cleaning up the area and putting in some bathroom facilities for them. The residents are now expected to meet and decide on a group leader who will interface with the government officials to ensure their concerns are addressed and that they no longer feel forgotten in the compound. Some tragic news to report now. A 72-year-old Guyanese man was killed in Tampa, Florida yesterday after a helicopter crashed into the truck that he was driving. The dead man has been identified as Deodat Prasad. He's believed to be originally from the quarantine area in Berbice. His son was in the vehicle with him at the time of the accident, but the son escaped unhurt. According to media reports out of Tampa, Florida, the elderly man was driving along the roadway when the helicopter encountered difficulties and crashed onto the road, with one of the blades striking the vehicle that was being driven by Deodat Prasad. The pilot and the co-pilot in the helicopter both escaped unhurt. An investigation is underway this evening. Back to local news, we turn to the courts, declaring that he did not kill anyone and had never been in trouble before. An all-boys young man appeared in court today and was charged with the murder of 18-year-old footballer Christopher Mansfield. Mansfield was gunned down last Saturday morning in Old Boys Town just after he left his home for an early morning football game. In the courtroom today, his accused killer, Shamar Harvey, appeared unstable as he removed his clothes and exposed himself to the court while shouting that he was innocent of the charge. Security had to be reinforced so that the charge could be read to the accused. With tears flowing down his face, the man told the court that he was arrested after a video surfaced with him running away from the scene. He said he was not the shooter and played no part in the young man's murder. The presiding magistrate remanded the man to jail until the 10th of May, when the matter will continue. Earlier this week, the police announced that 4 persons were being questioned about the shooting and that the 5th man was being sought. The police reported that a footballer was cornered by a gang of youths. Some of them were armed with cutlasses and knives, while one was armed with a gun. Mansfield was shot twice to his abdomen and died at a Georgetown hospital. The investigation into his death is still ongoing. Across in the High Court, former policeman 37-year-old Clinton Doris was today sentenced to 26 years in jail after he was found guilty of raping a 7-year-old girl. The verdict was handed down 3 weeks ago, but Justice Joanne Barlow handed down the prison sentence today after the court was provided with a probation report on the convict. Before the sentence was handed down, a statement from the victim was read out in the courtroom. In that statement, the child revealed that since being raped, she feels disconnected from the world and does not trust anyone who comes close to her, including family members. She also told the probation officer that she remains afraid of the man who raped her and wants him to go to jail for a very long time. The incident took place in the Essequibo region back in 2014. The man reportedly used sweets to lure the young child to his house where he committed the act. The child complained to her family and the man was arrested and charged. Today's sentencing has brought an end to his trial. He was ushered off to jail to begin his 26-year jail sentence. Across the region is coming up next.
Guyoil is a proud Guyanese-owned and Guyanese-operated company, serving our nation for over 42 years. All the profits remain in Guyana and are used for the development of our country. So when you buy fuel and lubricants from Guyoil, you are directly contributing to Guyana's economic development. Let's continue to build this nation together. Fuel up and drive with Super 95 from Guyoil.
Fuel it up and drive!
Guyana, for the first time ever, 2 heavyweights in the music industry on one night, on one stage. Extra Beer presents Yardy Fett Dancehall and Soca Concert. Performing live, the youngest and hottest dancehall artist, Alkaline the Conqueror. Be like my gang conquer the world now. And the hottest soca artist, Farmer Natty. You got me hooking me if you want me to. Get your tickets now for an affordable $3,000, stage front $15,000. Ticket location: White Castle Fish Shop, Just Your Size Boutique, Guinness Bar, Pleasant, Itel Food Shop, Durban Street, Fireside Grill and Chill, Buxton Gas Station, Dave Barker, Digicel, Starbrook Bar, Colors Boutique, Westsiders Entertainment Center, Patsy's BPAT Food Court, Sault Ste. Junction, Extra Beer Location, Starbrook Market, Sweet Point Orange Wall, and HJ Radio Station. Yardy Fett, Live, Alkaline, and Farmer Nappy, Soca and Dance Hall Concert on Easter Saturday, 20th April 2019 at Guyana National Stadium. Come, Corona, Guinness, Extra Beer, and Extra Energy Drink.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Across the region right now, the Pan American Health Organization is calling for equitable access to health care in the Caribbean, saying that millions of people in the world still lack access to health care and that many are forced to choose between spending on health and other daily expenses. PAHO estimated that in the Caribbean and the wide Americas, around 1/3 of the population lacks access to health care. PAHO said access and universal health coverage is the theme of World Health Day, to be observed on Sunday with the slogan Universal Health, Everyone, Everywhere, and focusing on primary health care, equity, and solidarity. Over in Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago government has said it will not follow its Caribbean community neighbor Barbados in implementing a gun amnesty aimed at curbing gun-related crimes on the Twin Island Republic. Trinidad and Tobago has one of the largest crime rates in the Caribbean. The National Security Minister Stuart Young told a news conference yesterday that a gun amnesty works in certain countries and under certain circumstances, and the government does not think that it is applicable to Trinidad and Tobago. Earlier this week, the Barbados government announced a one-week-long gun amnesty, with the Attorney General there, Dale Marshall, telling legislators that the amnesty would begin on Saturday. The Trinidad and Tobago Minister of National Security told reporters that in Trinidad and Tobago the guns are being used to carry out criminal enterprises. And these are not the old days when someone was walking around with a rusty old revolver. And finally tonight, international news. Australia will hold a 3-year national inquiry into the abuse of people with disabilities, Prime Minister Scott Morrison has announced. In recent years, the nation has been shocked by harrowing cases of abuse and assault in homes and care settings. Disability advocates say the abuse and exploitation are systematic issues. The Prime Minister said the Royal Commission, Australia's highest form of public inquiry, is aimed to establish a culture of respect. The Australian Prime Minister said his government recognizes that people with a disability are more likely to suffer abuse, violence, neglect, and exploitation. He has dedicated the inquiry to Australians living with disabilities, including his own brother-in-law Gary Warren, who has multiple sclerosis. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.